This is the BBC.
Take it back, it's filthy.
This is the BBC.
Isn't that Anna Ford over there?
That most certainly is our very own, our most experienced newscaster, Anna Ford.
Could you introduce me to her?
I don't see why not. Anna, I'm sorry to trouble you. I know you have the 9 o'clock news to sort out.
I'm on my break.
Sorry, Anna.
I've been dreading this. I've got one of them big, long Welsh names to read out. Glanfeg, Glanfang, Glanfith. Oh, I'll change it to Rill. Nobody'll notice.
What's your next job?
I've got to introduce some comedy show or other.
Is it any good?
I shouldn't think so for one moment.
Who's in it?
Jimmy Cricket.
A fine-looking chap. What's the show called?
Jimmy's Cricket Team.
Let's hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had a very sad week. On Wednesday, a motor car knocked me down. He said, "Look out." I said, "Why, you coming back?" I was lying in the middle of the road and a fella ran over. He said, "Give me your name and I'll tell your family." I said, "But my family know my name." He said, "There's a zebra crossing up there." I said, "Well, I hope he's having better luck than I had." I got up and dusted myself down and a woman came over. She said, "Have an accent?" I said, "No, thanks, I've already had one." I was run over once by a mobile library. I said, "Ah." He said, "Shh." Now, if any of you are waiting to take your driving test, don't worry, because there's nothing to worry about. I didn't have any trouble when I took my test last Tuesday.
It is now last Tuesday.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Come to take your driving test.
Yes.
I'm your examiner. If you just put your car down by the pavement.
Thank you. Saves petrol carrying it.
This is the first time that you've taken your driving test?
The first. And I really do want to pass.
Care to offer me a bribe?
No.
Couple of weeks in your villa in Spain?
I haven't got one.
Not to worry. Right, before we begin, can you read the license number on the bus parked 50 yards down the road?
Bus?
That big red thing.
Oh, bus 50 yards down the road.
Road, about 15 feet wide with a white line down the middle.
Bus. Got it. License plate number. The number is BOVR1L.
That's an advertisement for beef extract.
Yes.
If you'll just get into your car.
Yes.
It's by the pavement.
Oh, of course. Yes. I put it there.
If we could get into the car.
Yes. I like a big car.
So it seems.
Would you care to take a look upstairs?
Not just at the moment.
Just as well. The beds haven't been made.
If we could stop doing comedy sketch jokes and get on with the business in hand.
I think we should do that.
Good. I say, that's rather an unusual cigarette lighter.
Hello, sweetie.
Charming.
Can we start the test?
By all means. Switch on and away we go. Ah, you didn't look in the mirror.
I didn't have time to buy a newspaper.
Before you drive off, have you got anything behind you?
Well, I've got a few bob in the building society. But what's that got to do with my driving test?
It doesn't matter. Drive off.
Do you fancy a game of Scrabble?
Why not?
They'll be all day doing this car sketch.
Nice car. MG.
Yes, my granny's.
Now, if you just pull over to the pavement and stop.
right.
Next part of the test, and it became law today.
What did?
The hokey cokey.
The hokey cokey?
Comes in very handy if you get stuck in a 5-mile tailback. Passes the time. Now, you've just watched me. You put your left arm in, your left arm out, in, out, you shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you go...
Not likely. You're mad.
Not as mad as you are, mate.
What do you mean?
Have you seen who's climbed into your car?
Oh, no!
Arnold, lads.
Now, lass.
You must be whacked, lads.
Yeah, I've read about that in papers.
You look wore out, lad. I'll take your clogs off.
Aye. They're too big for you anyway.
You've got trouble writ across your face, lad. There's trouble and happen I have a right to know what it is.
Happen you have, lass.
Happen.
Happen.
A trouble shared is a trouble halved.
Happen. Do you want half a bunion?
If you've got a problem, I want to know about it, lad.
No, it's our Flossie.
Our lass? Our Flossie?
Happen.
What is it, Arnold? Tell me what the trouble is.
It's our Flossie.
I know it's our Flossie. I'm a mother. And I've a right to know, lad. Tell me, lad. Tell me.
About what?
Our Flossie.
I think you'd better sit down, lass.
No, lad, no.
Please, you're on me foot.
Arnold, for the last time, I've got to know about our Flossie.
She's with child.
She's with child.
Who is?
Our Flossie.
She's with child.
Arnold, I've got to know who's the father.
Seth Clogglethwaitethorpe.
Seth Clogglethwaitethorpe? He's a married man.
Who is?
Seth Clogglethwaitethorpe.
He's the father.
Oh, no, no, no.
That's what our Flossie should have said.
Our Flossie, I don't believe it. When is she due, lad?
In about half an hour.
Half an hour? How's she kept it from us? Oh, Arnold, lad, she should have said something.
She didn't know herself till this afternoon.
Didn't know?
That was when Tilly Clogglethwaitethorpe asked our Flossie if she'd babysit tonight. She's with child now. Is my tea ready?
Help me, somebody. I don't know what to do. Excuse me. I need help. Can you tell me the way to the maternity hospital?
I could if I wanted, but I'm not going to.
I'm desperate.
Sorry, Dan.
I must get to the hospital as quickly as possible. My wife's expecting.
What? A roll of lino? A gas cooker? I've got my funny set on today and no mistake.
A baby. And now do you realise how important this is?
Oh, I do. I'm still not going to tell you.
It could be triplets.
You might win a coconut.
I'm begging you.
All right. Left down Tarryasson Street.
Left down Tarryasson Street.
Left again at the lights.
Left again at the lights.
Cross over and turn right.
Cross over and turn right. Yes, yes.
You can't miss it. It's on the corner.
The maternity hospital?
No, Tesco's. Get me a tin of corned beef. I've got nothing for me tea.
I'm home.
That's our Gladstone. You're going to tell him.
I'm his father. I've got to tell him.
Come in, Gladstone.
Just look at him, great useless article.
Sit down, Gladstone.
Yes, Mum.
Daddy has something to say to you. This is Daddy here.
Hello, Daddy.
Great useless article.
Tell him.
Gladstone, Mummy and I think that you're old enough to know.
Know what, Dad?
Mummy and I think you should know that you're not very nice.
You're not nice, Gladstone.
Oh?
The truth is, we hate the sight of you, Gladstone.
You always have done.
Even though you are our own son.
We detest you, Gladstone.
That's a good word, Mother, detest. Not an easy thing to say, but we are your parents.
You go homeless.
Always have been.
Always have been.
Not that it's your fault that you're a gormless article.
You niff as well, Gladstone.
Always have done.
You niff something shocking.
Took us years before we stopped blaming the dog.
You weren't much cop as a child.
Got worse as you grew older.
Oh, dear.
Now, that is a good word, Mother.
Anybody home?
It's your Uncle Dominic.
We were just telling Gladstone that he's not very nice.
Repulsive. He niffs as well.
We have told him that.
He knows he niffs.
Aye. About time we were told.
Our duty as parents to tell you, Gladstone.
There's just one thing I'd like to say to you, if you don't mind.
Certainly, Gladstone.
I'm Raymond. Our Gladstone's on night.
We like you, Raymond.
Always have done, sweethearts.
A lovely lad.
Come in.
Just say the word and he's ready.
Who is?
My lad, Bunty.
Ready for what?
To do the weightlifting. This is Bunty.
Hello there.
He does weightlifting?
He's going to lift 5.5 tons.
5.5 tons? I don't believe it.
The world record if he does it.
I must say he looks fit.
He's just had 3 weeks in the kennels.
And he's going to lift
5.5 tons.
First off, I has to get myself mentally prepared.
I think he's mental enough.
Bunty, get the big leather belt on. I think he's mentally prepared now.
I think you're right.
Are you ready, wild thing?
Ready?
1, 2, lift. Look at him. Just look at those muscles.
Astonishing. Well, that's his pullover off.
He's going for the record now. 5.5 tons. Come on, son. The snatch. Give us the snatch, Bunty. You can do it, son.
Oh!
Bunty, what time is it?
About 8 o'clock. Is it important?
If we hurry, he'll just be in time to join the Girl Guides. Come on, Bunty.
You have just been listening to The Night of the Storm. From the Hollywood film of the same name entitled Broadway Melody of 1938. With such memorable hits as Regrets, I've Had a Few, but then again, too few to mention.
My name's Marlowe, Philip Marlowe, Private Eye. I put my other eye on the fridge to see if the light goes out. I just got back from Pier 16. I'd be looking for some guy who keeps yelling.
Ahoy!
There was no sign of him. I just left No Nose Mulligan's bar. No Nose Mulligan was quite a character. Everybody liked her. Her husband had one leg, one arm, one ear, and a broken nose. He sold Lucky White Heather. I was feeling pleased with myself because I nailed a guy on a first-degree murder charge and the judge had sentenced him to 978 years in the big house. That meant with time off for good behavior, he'd be 325 when he came out. His fiancée would be 256. But she was philosophical about it. She said she didn't mind marrying an older guy. I saw young Frank. He was in the Boy Scouts and he was looking pleased with himself. I asked him why. He said that he'd helped 46 old ladies across the street and 4 of them had made it. I wasn't in the best of moods. My teeth hurt like crazy. They were digging into the fleshy part of my thigh, so I took them out and put them in the drawer. It had been one of those days. I'd cut my nose opening a tin of pineapples. My office door burst open. A tall, slim figure with shoulder-length blonde hair, skin like porcelain, luscious lips, and a revolver pointing straight at me. She was pointing a gun at me. She was going to pull the trigger. I asked, why me? Tell me, what have I done?
I could if I wanted, but I'm not going to.
Right, now that you've finished your coffee, I think we should decide the best way to do your hair for your very special day, your wedding day. You have such a lovely face, beautiful skin, so we don't want to hide it. Now, let me think. Yes, oh, yes, we had it swept back. We can highlight your lovely eyes, you know. Your cheekbones, which give your face such a perfect shape.
Thank you.
On second thoughts, I'll give you a shave, a quick back and sides, and then you could nip off.
Thank you.
As the principal here at the College for Trainee Ear, Nose, and in your case, throat specialists, as I understand it, you are going to concentrate on conditions of the throat.
I am, Professor.
A good fellow. Now, before handing you your diploma, I would like you to repeat after me. Good. Now, what is also very important is... And I would ask you to repeat after me that as a throat specialist, I must at all times remember to...
As a throat specialist, I must at all times remember to...
And I must never...
I must never...
And that together...
And that together...
We will...
We will...
This week, my tour of this beautiful Britain sees me in the much-loved village of Gareham Down. In the 18th century, members of the nobility would hasten every weekend to Gareham Down. I find that a friendly word with one of the local inhabitants can prove to be informative, and these are such simple, friendly folk. Good morning, my fine fellow. What can you tell me about the original owner of this fine mansion?
Well, I fell out the onions front in the morning. And then all I'm going to onions from. We were all up for on a Tuesday. Mutt round concerting down the wall, down the walk, and all anymore.
Really?
And then, of course, on the walk along, it was Cumbrian rock,
That is amazing.
Or a no cold flat and instant 30. He caught out like a Max Voltron. And then his wife fronts exploded.
Oh dear, how terribly disconcerting. Thank you. As I speak, I can see the tiller of the soil wending his weary way home, with a shy horse tied in a red-spotted hanky on a stick over his shoulder. Set peacefully amongst the trees is the village church with its famous clock. 8 o'clock. I see the village blacksmith plying his trade. Let us see him at his ancient craft. Hello.
Sir?
I wonder if you could...
I'll be with you in 1 minute, sir. You takes a seat.
How very kind.
Oh, them rivets be hot, sir. With you in a minute, sir. Hold still, my beauty. Hold still. Nearly finished. All done.
Jolly good. Thank you so very much, my good fellow. How much do I owe you?
Just £5, me lady. Them brass knickers should last you a lifetime. Morning, my sireship.
Perhaps you could direct me to the local places of interest.
She'll be at work now.
I meant places of historical interest.
That's her. I sees what you mean, sir. Now, that there apple tree,
I see an apple tree. That's of historical interest.
that be the very tree under which Sir Isaac Newton was sat when Granny Smith fell on his head. And he invented concussion.
I didn't know that.
Well-known fact.
And what do you do for leisure activities in this remote spot?
You can find that out for yourself, sir.
Really?
There'll be a concert given by the locals just about to start in the village hall.
Thank you. Well, I can't miss this. This is something that I've always wanted to see. A village concert put on by the locals.
Ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're one of our senior citizens, because it's my pleasure to introduce your very own pop group, Old Cocks on the Snuff.
Yes, thank you. It's grand to be back with me group and some popular melodies of the day.
Let me call you sweetheart.
I'll land you one in a minute. You have to watch him.
I've got the sun in the morning.
You've had him all week. It's a wonder he can still stand.
What are you going to sing for all our senior citizens this week?
Well, this one, it's one that's been requested by the matron at Wrinkle Lodge, home for retired folk. It's a belter, is this one. Now, if you know the words and you feel like joining in, you needn't bother because it's us what does the singing.
Then let's hear it.
I'm in love with two sweethearts.
I don't know what she's on, but she's always at it.
Who's taking you home tonight?
I'm going home on the back of Charlie Evans' bike, so you can forget that.
We're still waiting to hear your song.
Oh, yes. Popular is this one. 1, 2, go. I'll never forget the moment we met, the air and the tension.
We stood in the queue, me behind you, collecting our pension.
Tragic moments, memories we've been sharing. Tragic moments.
Me thermals I am wearing.
We went to the coast and I had a boast that I was a swimmer.
And you would have drowned if I hadn't thrown that inflatable Zimmer.
Tragic moments. Tea down at the vicar's.
No.
No, next verse. Remember the night when I held you tight and the out into Dorset?
You squeezed me so tight, you gave me a fright, I busted me corset.
Tragic moments and memories worth forgetting. Tragic moments, memories quite upsetting. Time can't erase those tragic moments filled with stuff.
quickly followed by who else? Daphne and Cyril Billington. You must find that sort of welcome deeply moving.
My dear chap, I know that my very darling, my dearest heart, my lovely Daphne, will agree when I say we are humbled beyond words.
Dear heart, dear Cyril, you have chosen the very words I would have spoken myself. The love which I feel for our audience is surpassed only by the love which I feel for you.
Oh, Daphne, I'm terribly touched.
What a wonderful relationship.
It has been called a fusion of love and talent.
We think that describes our relationship to perfection.
And I suppose it goes without saying that you're still delighting audiences with your singing.
Tell him, darling.
I will, my pet. As well as our usual singing, we have introduced a dance routine into our performances, which the audiences seem to enjoy.
You're doing a dance routine?
Very sophisticated, of course.
Of course.
We dance rather in the style of the greatest dance duo of all time.
And that can only be...
Fred Rogers and Ginger Astaire.
Fred who, darling?
Fred Rogers and Ginger Astaire.
I think you're just the teeniest bit confused, darling.
Is that a fact? We're starting, are we? It's let's have a dig at Daphne time, is it?
Out of deference
What
to...
does deference mean? Is he having a go calling me a deference?
Daphne, deference means, well, polite.
Oh, that's all right then. Carry on.
It's Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
And you'll never guess who was Ginger.
You mean...
Who else? I had to let him be Ginger, otherwise he would have had a gob on him for a week.
You forced that upon me. It was a situation not of my making.
I forced you to dance Ginger Rogers back. I was doing that.
I saw you. The audience saw you. Ginger Rogers wore fishnet tights, not two empty sprout nets.
I'm sure it was all done in the best of taste. I'm sure you were both very elegant.
Elegant? Inelegant? Shall I tell them?
The St. Helens rugby team couldn't stop you now.
I begged him. I pleaded with him not to do the splits. I begged him.
And did Cyril do the splits?
He did that, he did. He did the splits and his rotten appliance snapped.
I really don't think that...
His appliance snapped and shot out into the auditorium. We had to pay for that pigging chandelier out of our wages.
Excuse me. Excuse me, is this the place where they're doing the programme Wild Flowers of the Hedgerow?
No, it isn't.
Now, we'll try another dance, something more gentle.
Can you waltz?
Oh, yes, of course we can
yes.
waltz, yes.
Well, waltz out that door.
You have been listening to Jimmy's Cricket Team, starring Jimmy Cricket, with Bill Pertwee, Peter Goodright and Noreen Kershaw. The script was written by Eddie Braben. Jimmy's Cricket Team is an independent production for Radio 2 by Mike Craig Enterprises.
That's a stupid way to feed your goldfish.
88 to 91.